The Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills almost had a who could do less on offensive showdown tonight. Um, as a whole, Miami scored 10 points, had 3 interceptions, with one of them going for a pick six, and Buffalo had 60 total yards in the second half. I'd say as a whole, this game is going to show as Buffalo completely dominating this game. In fact, this is going to be a lot like the Dallas Cowboys and Cleveland Browns game from last Sunday, where at one point Dallas was winning their game 27-3, and it didn't really feel like they were absolutely dominating the game. Buffalo won this game 31-10, and you have a game where Josh Allen had basically nothing going on the ground. He had 13 completions out of 19 attempts for 140 yards, 1 touchdown. Buffalo won this game because Miami was not just bad offensively, they were a complete negative offensively. They had a pick six. They had two other interceptions that led immediately to points for Buffalo. And I'd say the two only bright spots for either team in this game were the running back for each team. James Cook, who had 12 total touches for 95 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Devon Achane, who had 29 touches for a little over 150 yards and a receiving touchdown. Devon Achane's 155 total yards, you compare that to Buffalo, as a whole, Buffalo had a little over 80 more yards than Devon Achane had by himself. This is one of the weirdest blowouts in a long time. You have Miami pretty much dominating the time of possession game, 36 minutes to 23 for Buffalo. Again, this all came down to the fact that Tua Tagovailoa threw 3 interceptions. Now, the first one, I can understand why some people will say that the first interception from Tua was not his fault. It was a batted ball. Tua is a rhythm quarterback. He's a quarterback who is going to throw the ball where he thinks a play is going to be open, no matter what. And as well as that has played out for him for many times in his career, this is one of the games where you're playing a Buffalo team. You can't play your division rival the same way you would play any other team. This is the exact result that you will get. The last thing I will say about the Dolphins is, Tua got hurt tonight. He had another concussion. He is going to miss the game next week due to the new concussion protocols in the NFL. He's not playing next week. This is going to be a time for Buffalo, not just to see what they have with Skylar Thompson, because I think they know what they have with Skylar Thompson. They have a backup quarterback. They need to see what they have with their team as a whole, because yes, it wasn't a good game from Tua. It wasn't a good game from the offensive line either. And I'd say that as a whole, this team offensively played terribly. There was weird, situations in this game for this team. I kind of thought the NFL and its fans as a whole knew that Robbie Anderson, a.k.a. Robbie Chosen, was not a good receiver a while ago. But we're still putting him out in positions where we're relying on him. I thought that we kind of knew as a whole that, the two guys from this Miami team are Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill in the passing game. And, you have Devon Achane as well. And I know Raheem Mostert was hurt tonight, but I can't see why that is a complete excuse as to why this team played so terribly tonight on the offensive side of the ball. Now, let's switch the topic over to Buffalo. Defensively, they played an incredible game. Not just with the interceptions, but Gregory Rousseau, Ed Oliver, all of those guys up front for Buffalo, they played really well last week against Arizona. They played really well tonight against Miami. They were a major reason that this was such a blowout tonight. That pick six that Tua Tagovailoa threw, that doesn't happen without the pressure that Buffalo was generating up front. Um, and as well as Devon Achan ran the ball tonight, you take away the few big runs that he had, and you're looking at a game where, on the ground at least, Achan didn't provide much. However, offensively, I think we still look at this team as a team that doesn't have a number one option through the passing game. Um, Khalil Shakir was the leading receiver on this team with 54 yards off of 5 catches. Keon Coleman had 1 target. Dalton Kincaid had 33 yards. It's just not going to be a pass happy team. And when I say that, I don't mean by a volume. I mean, I don't think this is going to be a team where they're happy passing the ball late in the year. If they're going to be in a game where they're actually forced to throw the ball first, second, and third down, they're not going to succeed. Um, I feel like we kind of saw that last week, but even last week, the Bills ran the ball 33 times compared to 23 times through the air. And in tonight's game, like I already said, Josh Allen threw the ball 19 times and they ran the ball 26 times. But again, this was a weird game. Buffalo had the ball for a combined 24 minutes throughout the entire game. And in the second half, they did nothing. They had 4 drives that ended up with 2 punts, a missed field goal, and their end of the game where they knelt the ball out. That's a weird sentence to have. From their second to last drive of the game, of the first half, I should say, they had one play I would say was very positive, and that was a 50-yard run by James Cook for a touchdown. Other than that, you're looking at a game where offensively Buffalo did not do a lot. They scored on their first drive, and they scored after Miami punted. They just... I'm willing to chalk it up to tonight was a Thursday night football game, and those games are never pretty. And I'm willing to say that Buffalo, at this point, they've proved that they're probably still better than Miami. They probably still are. Even without the options through the passing game, they probably are still better than Miami. And they're probably still the best team in the AFC East. I do also think that it should not go unnoted that the 2 leading tacklers for the Buffalo Bills tonight were Damar Hamlin and Balin Spector. I think that's major for this team if those are 2 guys that can contribute play after play for this defense. I think this game was a very obvious sign of what is to come for Buffalo. Even though they scored 30 points, this was a game I think they were very happy with winning 17-10, 24-10, 20-10, somewhere in that range. I think the fact that they scored 30 points, that's just like an icing on the top of the cake. Because this team, they didn't play like they scored 30 points. They played like they were going to hold Miami to absolutely nothing and make them like it. And that's exactly what happened. I don't know if going forward they're going to be able to do that every single time that they step on the field. They have a pretty rough stretch these next 4 weeks, playing Jacksonville, Baltimore, Houston, and the New York Jets. So I guess we're going to have to see whether or not this team is a defensive, nightmare for other teams like they were tonight. But, I would think before this season started, Gregory Rousseau and Ed Oliver were 2 guys you would highlight and say, if this team is going to be the team in the AFC East again, like they've been year in and year out the last few years, it's those 2 guys who need to step up and have Pro Bowl caliber years for this defense to elevate. I would think you would look at guys like Balin Spector, like Damar Hamlin, like Rasul Douglas, like Christian Benford, as guys that need to continue, and in Balin Spector's case, prove he's a good player in the NFL. Those guys need to make positive contributions for this defense to be great, and they did that tonight. and we'll see if they can do it for the rest of the year.